Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello, greetings. Welcome to episode 58 of 15, that's 15 minutes of genius. This is an awesome show where we bring on entrepreneurs, we bring on investors, we bring on people that just are super passionate about what they do in the CPG, for the layman, the consumer packaged goods space, food and beverage, and much more. We have a great guest today. Just a short amount of time ago, meaning like about a year and a half ago, he was just talking about this product, just talking about it, speculating, sharing some ideas that he had and about working with his team to get this, to bring this product to life. And here we are. Now it is on the shelf and growing. Before rolling into our guest, big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark and ManhattanBeachStudios.net. There he is. The wave. You want to do like kind of the queen wave a little bit? A little bit of that? There you go. and the eyebrow raise. I'm sure the queen, does the queen do the eyebrow raise as well? Well, she does now. We just invented it. All right. So again, if you want to reach him, he can do a podcast for you, editing, Mark and ManhattanBeachStudios.net. Our guest, Mark Mallardi. He is the general manager of AMARUMAYU. I've practiced many times to pronounce the name of the company right. So he is a CPG. Again, I'm glad I clarify what that stands for. Food and beverage veteran of nearly 40 years. He was part of New Hope Network, PepsiCo, Information Resources, Inc., which is better known as IRI, Biology, MSense, Blue Ocean Market Intelligence. He has experience in startups and Fortune 500 companies. I mean, this is a decorated resume. If he was in the military, it would be like, this much, they call it chest candy. Emphasis in food and beverage, expertise in sales and market development. He's passionately committed to social justice, environmentalism, which we'll get in our story with AMARUMAYU, and giving back. So Mark, how's it going out there in Redondo Beach?
It's going well, Alex. Really, really nice to see you, and appreciate the opportunity to appear here. It's exciting. I've tracked your progress over the course of the past several years, and truly impressive. An honor to be part of the podcast venture.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, man. It's been as we talked about, it's a overnight type of success after many, many years, but it's definitely been a long, hard road. But glad that we're hitting our stride and people are buying. I'm just grateful that people love our product and are buying it. I mean, that's half the battle, is getting the consumer to resonate with the product that we're putting out there on the shelf, and they're seeing value in it as well. Redondo
Indeed.
Beach, by the way, Redondo Beach. So I live in Redondo Beach. Mark's in Redondo Beach. You're a Lebowski. I'm a Lebowski. So remember 2 weeks ago, remember that scare where there was a helicopter and there were people on the loose? For those that that are not in the South Bay or Southern California, there was some armed robbery, and I think something happened. There was some violence, and 4 guys in a car escaped and then trashed the car in Redondo Beach on the street near where I live, right around the corner from where Mark is. And there was a helicopter flying overhead for hours at night on a Saturday night trying to find these guys, and they eventually found them, but everything was roped off. It was frightening. Like they were, it was stay at home, just helicopters above. It was like there was a hot pursuit going on. It was crazy. Were you in town that night?
Oh, we were in the middle of it. It's funny you mentioned that, 'cause you and I haven't even spoken about this at all. In essence, here's the kind of the long story short. So we were all home, myself, my wife, and right adjacent to our home lives my wife's second son and his wife and his 2 kids. They live right next door to us, literally. And what happened was, believe it or not, the whole chase and the pursuit of the final suspect ended up culminating in the yard that is right behind my stepson's yard.
Wow.
Literally. The last suspect ended up there. So at about 1:30 a.m. that Saturday night, the police and the SWAT team knocked on his door, and they wanted access to his house. They wanted to go into his yard and take up positions there. So a full-on SWAT team, armed with dogs, went into his yard, 2 hours later, they knocked on our door. They came into our yard. They were essentially clearing the neighborhood to make sure there were no other suspects out there. And that last suspect, who had been shot himself, was captured literally in the yard right behind our next door neighbor, which is my stepson.
Wow. Now
it was bizarre. It was surreal.
Hitting close to home doesn't even describe it, right?
Yeah, in every sense of the word. I've never been, and I grew up in, the Bronx, New York, so I, kind of came from, the rather tough streets, and I've never been that close to something that violent. It was some precious hours there, to say the least.
Exactly. And for those that have never been to Redondo Beach, this is not the projects, okay? Like, this is a really nice family-oriented area. I mean,
Yes.
probably the most, there's a 7-Eleven on the corner. That's probably the most, like, streety that Redondo Beach even gets. But it's just a very safe area. I've been there for 15 years, grew up in Palos Verdes, moved to Redondo in 2005. I would go for walks in the middle of the night, especially a lot of sleepless nights when starting Genius Juice, and never felt unsafe. And then this event happened. So between this and Tiger Woods crashing in Torrance, I think the South Bay is becoming pretty famous.
It is, for all the wrong reasons. Yes.
Exactly. All the wrong reasons. We gotta bring it back. We gotta make it famous for Genius Juice and AMARUMAYU. So let's get into
Agreed.
that. So
Sure.
tell us, there's a huge sustainability story. You shared it with me. It's so inspiring. I mean, it gives me goosebumps just like remembering it. Tell us about the mission behind the product. What is in the product? What is the ingredient? What are the benefits? Where it's sourced from? Just tell us a story of how you and the team created AMARUMAYU and what is the product all about?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thrilled to tell our story. In essence, our mission starts with the Amazon rainforest. The unfortunate reality is that the Amazon rainforest, over the course of the last 20, 30 years, has been approximately 17% deforested for logging and, to bring in different types of ranching and farming and whatnot. And it's been devastating. And as you might recall, prior to the pandemic, prior to COVID, taking over all the headlines, the things we were talking about were the Amazonian wildfires that were raging out of control. So it's all part of a pattern that has been evident in the Amazon, as I said, for a couple of decades. Our mission, simply put, is the following. What we're attempting to do is we are attempting to create a commercial market in the U.S. for a series of amazingly health beneficial Amazonian superfruits, particularly from the Peruvian Amazon. And our intention is that by creating a commercial market for these superfruits, what we're doing in essence is we are valuing the trees and the bushes from which these superfruits are born. And by valuing them, we are making the trees more valuable standing and growing than they would be to be cut down and logged or to clear to bring in cattle or other types of farming. So really, our mission is all about valuing the trees and the bushes that bear these superfruits with the intention of preventing deforestation. And critically, and this is something I had no idea about before I became involved with this venture, critically, the ground that sits beneath the Amazon rainforest, which is, as you might imagine, it's incredibly fertile ground because of millennia, literally, of decomposition of trees and bushes, going into the composting, if you will. That ground is not only exceedingly fertile, it's as carbon laden as any patch of ground on planet Earth. So underneath the Amazon rainforest sits the largest carbon reserve on planet Earth. And the problem is, if you deforest the Amazon, if you take down those trees, what happens is the carbon that's sequestered under the ground typically gets released into the atmosphere and becomes CO2, which starts to contribute appreciably to the worsening of climate change and global warming. So that's kind of the secondary benefit that we're striving for. Number one, value the trees, therefore prevent them from being deforested. Number two, thereby keep the carbon sequestered beneath the Amazon thereby helping to mitigate, perhaps ultimately help reverse climate change and global warming. So that's the mission. So in essence, what we're doing is, when you look at our business model, it's a genuinely green business model. It's truly a bio-commercial enterprise, a bio-commercial business model. And what we're doing is we have established relationships with the Peruvian government, in particular the Peruvian Ministry of Environment, on the one hand, and on the other hand, we've established relationships with the indigenous communities, the indigenous peoples that populate the Peruvian Amazon. There are something on the order of 300 to 400 communities. Some of them are small family units, some are much larger than that. What we've done is, and kind of the run up to our ability to come to market with these products was, my colleague who's based in Lima, Peru, spent literally years going into the Amazon and creating commercial relationships with the indigenous communities in the Amazon. And the intention is, and now we have those relationships. So the way it works is as follows: the indigenous communities do the wild harvesting of the superfruits. Some of them are hand-picked off of bushes. Some of them are literally over 100 feet high on palm trees. They do the wild harvesting. They also then collect and they pulp all the superfruits locally in the Amazon, and then they flash freeze the contents. They flash freeze the pulp, the resulting pulp, and keep it in these large commercial freezers in the Amazon rainforest. Now, on my side here in the US, we've created this commercial entity, which is AMARUMAYU Superfruit Juices. I am the sole US employee of this enterprise.
Wow.
And we import from the Amazon the frozen pulp. So it comes to the US via cold chain into LA, into Southern California. And then what we do is we have a co-packer that we utilize in Southern California. And in essence, we then create these superfruit beverages, these superfruit infused beverages, of which we have two beverages currently. One is this Buriti beverage, and I'll talk in a moment about the properties of Buriti. And then the second one is Camu Camu. So the yellow one, the gold, if you will, is Buriti. The red one, pinkish red one, is Camu Camu. Those are the two principal superfruits that we're importing from the Peruvian Amazon. You're seeing here the packaging for each of those products. And this is the other amazing part of the story. The superfruits themselves, both of which are relatively unknown here in the US. There has been some market for Camu Camu historically, mostly in powdered form as supplements. The Buriti, on the other hand, is barely known here in the US. To my knowledge, the only product that Buriti has appeared in previously, the Buriti oil, has appeared in skincare products because it actually has skin rejuvenation and skin protection capabilities. But these two superfruits, here's the health benefits of them. The Camu Camu, again, the red pinkish package, the Camu Camu superfruit has an individual Camu Camu superfruit has 50 times as much vitamin C as an orange, 60 times as much vitamin C as a lemon.
Wow.
It is literally the most potent natural source of vitamin C on the planet, bar none. So that's the Camu Camu, extremely antioxidant rich and immunity boosting. The Buriti, the yellow gold bottle, the Buriti too has a vitamin C, but at lower levels than Camu Camu. It has vitamin A, it has omegas 3, 6, and 9, and it has minerals such as potassium, zinc, and iron. So again, extremely nutritionally dense, extremely immunity boosting. Our league regulatory council actually gave us permission to use the term super antioxidant for both of these products because they are, in fact, that. They're both tremendously immunity boosting. So as you saw with the packaging, what we've done is we've created this line of AMARUMAYU Superfruit Juices. They are packaged in aluminum bottles. The bottles are fully aluminum. There's an aluminum closure on top. The body is aluminum. The ones we currently have in market are these 16-ounce versions. So it's 2 full 8-ounce servings in each bottle. So the bottle, the packaging itself, maintains our strict adherence to sustainability. The bottles are resealable, reusable, fully reusable, even after you've drank the product, and they're fully recyclable. So that's what we've done. We've created an end-to-end, truly sustainable, truly green supply chain and manufacturing process. And the conclusion of the story, we actually came to market just this past November of 2020. Currently, we're nearly exclusively sold on Amazon. So we're kind of unique in that we released our product during the pandemic, literally during the presidential election cycle. I think November 12th is when our Amazon store opened up. And we launched, as I said, exclusively online, no brick and mortar distribution whatsoever. We wanted to do, proof of concept on Amazon, and I'm really pleased to say that the results on Amazon have been stellar. We've had dramatic growth month over month. As of St. Patty's Day yesterday, we already had exceeded the total sales that we had in the prior month in February. So we're going to be up by at least 50%, probably more,
Nice.
month over month from March to Feb.
Mm-hmm.
So the reception's been very good, and we now, and this is something you could definitely relate to, Alex. We now are in the process, and we're going down several paths simultaneously of investigating brick and mortar retail distribution opportunities. There's several tacks we're taking. We're actually in dialogue with the military class of trade, the military community in that regard, commissaries and PXs. We are in dialogue with a number of what I would call specialty distribution possibilities. And then we're also talking to Erewhon Market and a number of mainstream retail distribution possibilities as well.
It's great. The story is mind-blowingly amazing. Like just how you are helping the Amazon and like preserving the soil. There was a documentary that came out about, you must have seen it, came out about 6 months ago called Kiss the Ground.
Yes,
on Netflix. For anyone who has not seen it, one of my friends who started Cafe Gratitude, Rylan Engelhardt, he's one of the producers and financiers on it. Woody Harrelson is the narrator for the entire documentary. But yeah, it just talks about how, I mean, I'm not a scientist or a botanist, but what I do know about it is like we need to really preserve the soil and the earth and not putting herbicides, insecticides, and things and chemicals you've been using since the Dow Chemical Revolution, right, in the 40s and the 50s, which seemed to work they conceptually worked back then, right, to preserve plants, but the long-term effects have been so dire. And when I say work, maybe it worked for a farmer, but in the long term, it actually killed the soil, killed the crops, made the crops less nutritious, hold less nutrition, and also eventually the soil may have actually died. So we don't want to see that happen in a larger scale in the Amazon. And I think the other thing, and this is really a cool interview because it's so much like packed information about societally what's going on, with the climate and with our, with nature and the environment, is that,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's just really amazing, and also like the fact that oxygen, 30% of all the oxygen in the world is created by the Amazon. So it all comes back, it all kind of winds back and rolls up into this cause. And so tell us more about I know you told us about the ingredients. Tell us more about innovation, because I want to hear about what are the plans in 2021 going through 2022. You're going to start going into retail. And I think like we've talked about this on so many different episodes and interviews on education, right? You're the lone wolf in the U.S., right? And honor that it's in Redondo Beach. It's the U.S. headquarters in Redondo Beach.
Right.
If we're not famous enough, we got more famous. So, what is your company doing to get people sips to lips, to get people to try this product, to get people to understand what the ingredients are? You can only do so much in digital. What are you going to start doing in stores? Is it just going to be demos, or how are you going to get people to really understand this kind of product? Because it is very inventive and unique.
Yeah, great great question, pivotal question. I like sips to lips, by the way. We use cans in hands, even though our stuff's in an aluminum bottle, but that's our mantra.
Yeah, with Genius
No,
Juice, we do palm to palm, palm
I
tree to
love it,
palm of the hand. Yeah.
love it. Love it. And another one we have by virtue of where we come from and where we're being sold is from the Amazon to Amazon. That's another one where you
It's only
completely on.
it's poetic to launch exclusively on Amazon. So yeah.
Yeah, there is something really, you know, circular about that.
Exactly.
Here's what we've done. I mean, you're exactly right. Number one, we're not at retail. Number two, what's one of the main big things you can't do during COVID? You can't sample, right? You can't sample in Costco. You can't go to baseball games. You can't go to beaches because there's nobody there because right, we couldn't congregate. So what we've done is the following. There's two key steps that we took early on, and I'm just so proud and so happy we took them. And it was out of necessity, really. There are two organizations we've aligned with that you may or may not be aware of. One of them is called Moms Meet, and it's an organization of approximately 100,000+ moms who are affiliated with this around the nation. And what they do is they serve as an in-home taste testing and like product validation, market research type of exercise. So we've been working with Moms Meet now for the better part of 6 months, and we just concluded two things. What we did was we essentially put a bottle, one or the other of our two flavors of AMARUMAYU, into 15,000 mom households.
Wow.
So the way it works is there were 750 ambassador moms, and that mom has approximately 20 moms in her neighborhood that she's affiliated with. So we delivered essentially 18,000 bottles of AMARUMAYU to Moms Meet Fulfillment Center. They then deliver it in groups of packages of 20 bottles to the individual mom ambassador. She then distributes it during COVID, if you will, to the doorsteps of all the other moms. And then they conduct a Zoom-based virtual taste testing and market research session. So each of the 750 ambassador moms orchestrates that. So essentially, over the course of about 3 months, we were able to reach 15,000 mom households, moms with kids. And just this past week, we got the extensive market research survey back from Moms Meet. This was, again, the collective feedback of these 15,000 moms who had hands-on experience with our product. And right on the heels of that, again, just a week ago, we were a keynote speaker remotely in the Moms Meet Virtual Wow Summit. It's normally held in person. Of course, with COVID, they did it online. So we were a keynote speaker, and we reached hundreds of moms last week online with our keynote address. And we reached, importantly, a whole raft, probably 20 to 30 individual mom influencers and bloggers who were so taken with our product that they now want to advocate on our behalf. So that was one critical sampling mechanism that we've used as Moms Meet. And kind of the end of that narrative is I'm just thrilled to say that the research results that we got back.
Yeah, I was going to ask about
15,
that. Like, what did you learn from the results? Like the top 3 to 5 things. Like, what were recurring feedback that you were getting from the moms, both the good and the bad, or was it mostly just good? Or tell us more about that.
I'll tell you, and this is genuine and 100% candor. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive. It was so positive that the founder of Moms Meet, and think like these are researchers, they normally are very judicious in terms of praise and they dole it out. She said our results were quote unquote groundbreaking. Groundbreaking is what she said, especially compared to true startup brands that have no prior affiliation in the marketplace, right? We're not a line extension of Nestle or what have you. She said they were groundbreaking. And the themes that came back were, number one, the packaging. The packaging resonated big time with the moms. They saw the packaging and they felt it looked painted. The bottles are so beautiful. They look as if they're painted.
A work of art.
The bottles itself, exactly. That was the term. The bottle itself is a work of art. So that the packaging was overwhelmingly positively received, number one. Number two, the flavor. Fortunately, the flavor of both SKUs, the Camu Camu and the Buriti, was exceptionally well received. And then third, but last but not least, the backstory, the mission, the Amazon, the importance of helping to preserve. The Amazon's called the lungs of the earth for the reason you articulated earlier, the amount of oxygen it develops. And a lot of moms were well cued into that. And the importance of the preservation of the Amazon was something, number one, not only that they emotively connected with and viscerally connected with, but number two, importantly, they understood that our supply chain is not a budget supply chain. It's a unique supply chain with a lot of cost elements that go into it, which means we're not coming out with we're not coming out with a budget product here. We're coming out with a fairly premium priced product. The good news is the moms understood that because of the mission, because of the complexity of the supply chain, and because of all the good they felt the commercializing of these superfruits will do for the Amazon. There was certainly a willingness on the mom's part to pay at least a semi-premium pricing for AMARUMAYU. So those were just a few of the things that came back that were exceedingly promising. And the other thing I'll mention, and you may be aware of these folks, Alex, there's an organization that previously was called Snack Nation, and they're now called CAROO, CAROO, right? And historically, they delivered healthy snack boxes to office environments when we had office environments. And then once COVID kicked in and all those office workers were working at home, they completely pivoted their model where they're now delivering what they call home wellness boxes to tens of thousands of home office environments around the nation. So what we've done with them is over the course of 4 months, and we're coming close to concluding it, we will have delivered a single 16-ounce bottle of AMARUMAYU, as well as an oversized postcard that directs the person who's tasting to go to Amazon to purchase to 75,000 Snack Nation / CAROO households, 75,000 households.
Wow.
So collectively, between those two services, we've reached 90,000 households with full 16-ounce bottles of AMARUMAYU. That's principally what we've done to get the word out there. And the last point I'll pick up on, your point about the education that's necessary, right? And clearly, this is a product and a project that requires a lot of education in terms of the backstory, the Amazon, the supply chain, and then the superfruits themselves, the beneficial nature of the superfruits. So what we've done there is we did before our Amazon store opened, that prior 6 months, we did a substantial social media and online ramp up. We have no less than, I believe, 30 to 35 videos, some animated, some full, motion action videos on our YouTube channel. It's AMARUMAYU_community, and many of those are educational. It introduces people to the challenge of what's happening in the Amazon, to the indigenous communities in the Amazon, the bird life, the aquatic life, the plant life in the Amazon. So a tremendous amount of instruction was executed via social media on our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel, and our Instagram channel. Just recently, we came up on Pinterest in that regard, and ultimately we'll be up on TikTok. So a lot of social media outreach and education and advocacy raising, number one. And number two, the other thing we've done is we actually developed this booklet, which we called Passport to the Peruvian Amazon. And this booklet essentially is a light educational booklet that has activities. It's a semi-coloring book.
I love that.
It's got activities, like light educational activities. And each of the pages, as you can see, has a QR code. And those QR codes pull up the videos that I mentioned before, the YouTube videos.
Right.
So this is the start, the first module of what we envision to be an ongoing educational effort where we make that available digitally. We actually package it for free in each of the 6-pack units that we ship out. And now it's becoming a living, breathing thing in that we're developing different educational modules. And I have to say, especially during the COVID lockdowns and the school system being shut down, all of a sudden these parents are at home, working from home, and now they have to homeschool as well. They have to start teaching their kids, right? So things like this, applications like this, have been extremely well received by parents. And again, it's light educational. It's not a standards-aligned education, but it's the type of thing that's going to help the parent and the child understand what's going on in the Amazon, the importance of the Amazon, and really start to get behind emotively and viscerally, our mission and our reason for being in the marketplace.
Exactly. Just so many amazing things that you've shared in this interview. I mean, I think we need to have a part 2 in about 6 months to see what is the update with AMARUMAYU.
Yes, indeed.
Getting into retail, expanding your business, expanding your distribution. But I think part of the show is also you talk about in your intro here, giving back. I think there are some amazing golden nuggets here in what you've shared for brands, especially shelf-stable brands where you can ship it and not have to worry about the product going bad on the way in transit, where there's Mom's Meats, and then also Caru. Big shout out to Sean Kelly over there at the Snack Nation / Caru headquarters out there. I remember actually going to a get-together. It was in Culver City. That's where the office was for many years. It was human vending or healthy vending. It was healthy vending, and then Snack Nation, and then Caru.
Yeah, exactly. You know it well.
Yeah. I remember I think the first month that we started Genius Juice, we actually tried to pitch Sean's staff on they had vending machines, refrigerated vending machines that they put into law offices, food service, employee break rooms, but we're talking higher end companies where they really put a lot of money behind taking care of their employees. So I think we got into maybe 5 law offices, and thankfully we didn't get sued. That's it's a lawyer joke. So plenty of those. I met Sean and Snack Nation when I was a New Hope Network previously for about 5.5 years, and it was in my exploits at New Hope Network that I first came into contact. And sure enough, now as an entrepreneur and a startup vendor, it's they've been a great partner. Yeah,
great partner. Yep.
So I think for anyone who's viewing this, we get usually 3,000 to 4,000 views per episode. These are some great tidbits on how to grow your brand in this environment where you can't do demos in stores, but you can still get the product, whether it's Amazon to Amazon or palm to palm or sip to lips or can to hands or any of these phrases. They all mean the same thing, is getting it from your warehouse to a consumer's hand and into their mouth and them enjoying it. So really amazing stuff.
Right.
We're out of time, but share with us. I'm tempted to ask, website. Are you going to start selling it on your website, or is it only Amazon?
We are, what we're doing is we're going down the path of building our own storefront. It likely will be we're looking at a couple different platforms, but likely it'll be a Shopify storefront.
Yep,
so within about 2 to 3 months, and what we're going to do is we won't necessarily compete with Amazon. We're going to have unique product configurations that we're going to offer on our storefront, and unique promotional items and sweepstakes and things of that nature. Oh, and one other thing, let me mention, you spoke earlier to innovation, right? Where do we go from here? Quickly, what we're doing is, number one, we're going to release 2 additional SKUs.
Okay.
2 new flavors. Within about 3 months. The third, so we have got the Camu Camu, we got the Buriti. The third flavor will be Golden Berry, which is another amazing superfruit from the Peruvian Amazon. And the fourth flavor is going to be a combination of acai, black grape, and blueberry. That'll be our fourth flavor. Again, it has its own set of functional benefits and health implications. And then last but not least, the other path we're going down, we see AMARUMAYU ultimately being broader than just this particular line of beverages, and we are well down the path in terms of developing a shots product line as well. And
great idea.
These will be 2-ounce aluminum, all aluminum bottles, aluminum closure. It'll be dense concentrations of the superfruits with particular functional benefits for each of the shots. So that's coming in about 4 months' time.
Love it. You're hearing it first on 15 Minutes of Genius. We have new innovations on the 16-ounce, new innovations in shots, and a wonderful mission. So, Mark, thank you for sharing the story. I definitely need to swing by since we're neighbors and get more product from you and drink it. I can't wait to get more antioxidants. I need the vitamin A, the D's, the C's, pretty much the whole alphabet. We all do.
Yep.
So, so thank you again, man, for joining us on episode 58. Appreciate hearing your story, and we'll definitely have you back. So, Mark, have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Alex. You as well. I've really appreciated the opportunity, and it's an honor. Thank you, sir.
You got it. All right, so that is, again, episode 58. Mark Mallardi, the general manager for AMARUMAYU. On Amazon right now, you can buy it 6 packs and up. And also, they're going to have their own website, which is coming out, let's say, after this airs, maybe in about 2 months, maybe May or June. So make sure to look out for that. We'll have a link to the Amazon page also right below in this post on LinkedIn. Another big plug for Mark Nicholas, mark@ManhattanBeachStudios.net for all your editing desires. Amazing guy, amazing editing, amazing skill. He's a genius. And that's a story. We're sticking to it. All right, so one last thing. What is that? Oh, yeah, stay genius, my friends. Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.